Hello, this is Cody with the EWR support staff, and today we will be discussing scheduling shipments, Batch 23, also known as shipping order updates, and IsmailaReady.com. The steps we will go through will be working with the scheduling calendar, calendar reports, using Batch 23, negotiating schedule changes, and IsmailaReady.com. For warehouses, their first concern is getting bill data into their software in order to get the receipts electronically issued on the EWR system. Once receipts are issued, then the warehouse focuses on locating and storing the bills until bills are sent out on shipping orders to be picked up. Shipping orders are delivered to the warehouse and received in Iris. Once the files are received in Iris and stripped, as you can tell from these blue dots here, they can be imported into the warehouse program. When you're on the import shipping order screen, you can see the request date. This doesn't mean that this is the date that you have to schedule that order for. There are different order types. These are both standard. There's also staging. We're going to go ahead and post these. You can print this report. This should match your confirmation from Iris. Zoom in here so you can see. Those are the two marks that we just imported. And these are our shipping orders. These newly posted shipping orders are being updated and sent to the IsmailaReady website if you're registered for that site behind the scenes. We'll talk more about that website here in a moment. When shipping orders come in with a request date now, it also puts that request in your import schedule date changes screen, or also the Batch 23 screen. You can see here. We should now be able to go to the shipping order screen and see these new orders. Now that we've posted these orders, we should now be able to run any shipping order reports for these. To access those, you would go to Reports, Shipping Order Reports. There's a shipped, unshipped order listing, and all these other menu options here you could run. When it is time to schedule these orders, you should receive a schedule date change request, or Batch 23, which is replacing the old way of email and fax. If there's a request date on an order, you are now required by the USDA to respond within 48 hours with a Batch 23. The old way of scheduling when you were sent a date request was to pull up an order manually and put a schedule date on it. We'll see that field here. Or you could pull up the calendar and manage these shipping orders. The calendar opens to the current month. You can drag an unscheduled order to the date that you're wanting to schedule it for. You can then double click on that date to see what all orders you have scheduled for that day. And there's also a legend here that you'll see where it shows you the different types of orders and the different colors that represent them. We can go ahead and schedule this one also. You can print this calendar. You could also move orders to a different date from here. If there's a difference in storage, especially if you have daily storage, it will tell you how many units of storage you'll be losing. When you put a shipping order on a date and schedule it, either from this calendar screen or by manually pulling up the order to put a schedule date, a Batch 23 is being created in your satellite button to send through. You can click on our satellite here. This is going to be a file that will be transmitted to the shipper to let them know the date that we schedule these orders for. Pull up this report. You'll see it's our scheduled date change or batch 23. There's a report with the bale detail. We're going to go ahead and transmit this to the provider. The shipper or merchant has the ability to send another batch 23 where they're requesting another date for these shipping orders. Those shippers will send those new batch 23 request dates to you through Iris. So if you do a send and receive, you should see it come down here at the bottom. When you receive one of these shipping order schedule date changes or batch 23s, it should be stripped, which means it's got that little blue dot beside it. We can then go to shipping and import schedule date changes in the warehouse program. And you should see these batch 23s or schedule date changes that were just sent to us here. We hit import, this will pull in any new ones. Close here. From this screen, you should be able to pull up this calendar if you'd like. It'll show you what you've already got scheduled for that particular week before you put a response date here. You'll see the schedule date. That's the date that you already have this order scheduled for. And then you'll see the new requested date. This is the date that they're requesting on this new batch 23 file. If you hit this little purple arrow, it'll select their date. You hit this little arrow on this side, it'll select your date. You then hit apply. If you don't want either of those dates, and you've looked at the calendar here, you have the option to pick some other date in between. You would apply that. Once you apply these, it then creates another response file in your satellite button to send back to the shipper. We can go ahead and transmit this through. You'll see our two schedule date changes here, and you'll see the bales listed. We'll go ahead and transmit that to the provider. And then we've got our success. IsmailaReady is a website you can register for as a warehouse. You are given a security code or password that you enter into your system parameters. This is right here on the interface screen. You would select this checkbox here for send shipping orders to IsmailaReady.com. Then you would enter your upload security code or your password for that website. This will allow all of your shipping orders to be available to be viewed on the website for any shipper who is registered. Any shipper that's registered, you would pull them up here. And for this eCotton company ID, you would put in their ID for the IsmailaReady.com website. A lot of times for shippers, this will be the exact same as their EWR provider holder ID. Trucking companies can also register for the IsmailaReady.com website. You'll set them up under the trucker entry screen, and their eCotton company ID will be their ID for the IsmailaReady.com website. In order for a trucking company to see the loads that are marked as ready that they are scheduled to pick up, that trucking ID will have to be listed on the shipping order. If you save this, this is going to send an update to IsmailaReady.com behind the scenes. And then when that trucker logs into that IsmailaReady.com website, they'll be able to see when that order is ready. Here's what the IsmailaReady.com website will look like for a warehouse that logs in. This will be filled in with all of your shipments. There is also a global mark search now. So if a trucking company or a merchant has a question about a mark, they should be able to enter a warehouse ID and a mark that matches that shipping order number and should be able to see if it's scheduled or ready or when they can come and pick it up. Batch 23 and IsmailaReady.com were designed to hopefully reduce the amount of phone calls and emails warehouses receive on scheduling loads. This is the end of this training video. If you have any questions, please call 800-571-46 4434 or email us at support@ewrinc.com. Thank you and have a great day.